Jarrahdale Primary School lies in the Jarrah Forest, 45 kilometres southeast of Perth. It all started with an idea. An ambitious idea that didn't come from the principal, Julie Denham. It came from the kitchen specialist, Iona, who had the idea for a whole school project. Perhaps this is how it needs to start.
I knew these kids could do it and I just wanted everyone to see it.
I just want to quickly show you our beautiful noodle salad in a jar.
Iona wanted the kids to know that they could achieve anything. Could they?
It's been going for 6 years as a Stephanie Alexander garden.
The program teaches students to grow, harvest, prepare and share fresh seasonal food.
I see this garden as being a fantastic creative learning space that will hopefully create Earth stewards into the future.
Earth stewards need to get along and make decisions together. Could sociocracy help, thought Stacey. Julie wanted to create a strong school community.
The hardest part is, I guess, agreeing on what we are going to do and how we're going to come together as a community and how we're going to drive the community forward.
Julie did not want to direct everyone else. She needed a new approach. How would she weave a culture of collaboration? Jessie Barber built strong communication skills as teacher of the senior class.
We had quite what I would call quite a democratic class. Often there were certain students that dominated the conversation and other students that weren't sort of sharing and weren't participating in it.
Jessie saw that it would take more than good communication to build a new culture. Iona's idea brought to the staff room Gina Price from the Sociocracy Consulting Group to share the keys to success. Sociocracy means to rule by people who meet together. It started in a Dutch school at the end of World War II. As a Quaker, Case Booker sought to find whether the art of living together, understood as obeying the rule we had all agreed upon, was simple enough to be learned by children. Gina suggested experimenting with sociocracy to create a culture of collaboration.
Let's just take a minute to shut our eyes, relax, and imagine what this might be like.
Imagining the hum of happy chatter and delicious food is how the Harvest Bounty project began. A restaurant evening for 80 guests, planned and run by primary students to showcase their skills in cooking and gardening and to teach them how to work together. A date was set for the beginning of term 3. They had 10 weeks, including 2 weeks holidays, to make it happen. And so, the planning and training began. 15 hours is minimum training for adults, and Gina could only schedule 10 class trainings across 3 classrooms before leaving for India in 3 weeks. Would this be enough for a pilot project?
97.
So, what sort of characteristics should we be looking for in a student leader? What do they actually have to do?
Learning some new terms and practices was next.
What's around?
So someone says their idea and then another person says their idea. It's like everyone has their own little turn to speak.
One person talks and the other people listen.
Elections bring a culture of transparency and reason as students share who they nominate and why.
I openly select Finn because I think he meets all the criteria and is good at talking in front of audiences. I Finn select myself because I feel I'm confident in talking on stage in front of people.
I Ellie select myself because I believe that I meet the criteria.
I can select Finn because I know he'll be loud and clear to all of us and make sure we all understand it.
Given what you've heard, if you want to change your nomination, cross out who you nominated for and write the new nomination on there.
Nominations may be changed after all reasons are heard. The facilitator then nominates someone based on the reasons shared by circle members. Are objections such as "I don't want to" and "they didn't vote for me" reasons for a person not to fill a role? This is decided by integrating the wisdom in the circle and finding a solution that no one objects to.
But what was new to them was the transparency that the Sociocracy election process brought, which meant rather than having a hidden vote and putting it into, a box and then me as the teacher counting the votes and letting them know who had been elected, they knew who was nominating them and who was nominating themselves and how many people were getting nominated and who wasn't getting nominated at all. So for some of the students, this was a bit of a confidence boost. For other students, this was extremely difficult.
Could children be disappointed and agree with the reasons? Could they feel emotions and hear the arguments? Could the adults support them and manage their own uncomfortable feelings? Transparency is the first key to success, as it empowers people and brings them together.
106, 107.
A structure is designed to engage everyone. A project starts with a clear aim. What is the project going to produce or provide? A group of people with a shared aim is called a circle. The project structure is built from circles, each with an aim. The aim of the ambient circle is creating a space that makes people excited about the food. The aim of the food circle is to produce and prepare a delicious menu for customers. More specific circles are added as required, and so a circle structure is built, with every child belonging to at least one circle. Each circle links to its neighbouring circle by 2 people. Here, a teacher, Iona, leads the food circle and is also a member of the general circle, as is a student, Jack, elected to represent the food circle. The general circle has a coordinating purpose, and Iona and Jack will make sure that food is part of the overall planning. Everyone knows their job, they can see their part in the project, and the structure brings everyone together. As part-time specialty teachers at the school, Stacey and Iona had other jobs. Balancing their work was difficult, and they would need to volunteer time for the project to succeed.
Most things aren't going to hurt us in the garden. If you're a little bit afraid of something, come and tell us and we can have a good look at it and see what job it's doing.
In circle or policy meetings, decisions are made by consent. Using consent, nobody is ignored. The principle of consent is the second key to success.
Now, I think we're going to need a little bit of explanation, please, Rupi, about what this puzzle is all about.
You say an idea and then we do it in that order. Present, so you say what the idea is and then question any people in the group. Question your idea. Response is if yes or no, I don't like it, and stuff like that. And then objection, I don't think this because wisdom. It can't be opinion.
It can't be an opinion, no.
The challenge of agreeing is sidestepped when we seek consent. In circle meetings, we are resolving objections.
And does anyone remember what an objection relates to?
A reason why it won't work.
A reason why it doesn't work, and work towards what?
The goal. Aim. The aim.
Aim.
An objection is a reason why we can't achieve our aim. If there are no objections, we have consent, and our decision is good enough for now. We also set a time to evaluate and review our decision.
Integrated wisdom is
The opinions.
yeah, and then celebrate is just the celebration.
The students were doing groundwork in their circles, consenting decisions to guide them in the restaurant task.
One person is the circle facilitator, who is facilitating the process, making sure that everyone sticks to these steps. And the other role that's important to the circle is to have a circle secretary. And we have a circle secretary here.
The food circle consents to Angus's proposal. Next to Angus is Tia, the young representative from the recipe circle.
Warm entrees, hot main meal, and cold dessert.
Members of the ambience circle harvest objections to a proposal to hold the restaurant in the undercover assembly area. The circle is helping a member decide if they have an objection or if they're thinking of a detail which still fits into the proposal.
So do you have an objection or no objection?
No objection.
No objection, very good. No objection.
Meanwhile, the table setting circle also consent to a proposal, that each table has a setting of 4 real multicoloured flowers with some greenery. Signs are good. Things appear to be going well. All was going to plan until the end of term 2. School holidays were approaching. The part-time specialty teachers were not scheduled on. Gina was in India, and Jessie had 4 circles in her class, needing to make decisions.
It was really clear to me and to the class that this was really crucial time that we needed to make the most of, even though it wasn't necessarily ideal.
Were the students going to be able to run meetings themselves?
You provided us with a really strong structure. Sure, we made a bit up. It didn't probably always go as it should have, but it gave us the opportunity to make sure that we continued to involve all the children, all the classes, all the teachers, all the adults in the process.
We actually ran the circles and managed to run the circles without adults, completely student-led, and there were some, excellent facilitators in the class that were able to actually facilitate those decision-making sessions. It actually became a really fantastic opportunity. Hey, this is time we've got to make the most of. You guys have got to do it.
The restaurant evening arrived and Harvest Bounty opened its doors. The students of the Ambient Circle used materials they had or would later use so they could stick to their limited budget. The greenery specified in the table setting proposal was notable.
It just looked beautiful. And the kids could talk about it. They owned it.
The menus were produced by the 5 and 6-year-olds and the tickets by the 4 and 5-year-olds. The food circle was responsible for the choice of dishes and of the night preparation. In the weeks leading up to the restaurant, all students played a part in preparing food. On the night, the 6 final year students were the wait staff.
Oh, it was fantastic. I just loved that it all came together so well. And I think the process behind it really built that engagement with it, and you could really sense that on the night. The kids were really clear on what they had to do, and as a group they all felt they'd contributed.
I didn't expect the restaurant to come together in the way it did, because everyone took a part of it and ran with it, and it just came together. I was amazed.
To see 10 to 12-year-old students running a restaurant for 80 people with very little adult assistance, two adults present on the night, was just, unbelievable.
The project fulfilled its aim. It was a success. The hum of happy chatter and delicious food that had been envisioned was created. A sense of belonging emerged through the structure and process. The strategy was effective. Bringing together a stable structure and flowing process is the third key to success. Julie had sought to build a strong school community. What did she see? She saw joy in the teachers at seeing the pride in the students, the joy of really educating.
To see it created and to look at the pride in the students, of themselves, how absolutely proud they were of their own effort.
She saw benefits that were broad and deep. Academically and socially, the benefits could be mapped to every subject area in the Western Australian curriculum.
It gave them skills in talking to people, in working in groups, in following a plan, in doing so many things. It gave them so much.
And she saw benefits rippling out.
By running the restaurant evening, the teachers would see how the process worked. So therefore they could also see the value in it.
The parents saw the capability of the children as they worked together, and this spread to the Parents and Citizens Association.
Using the Sociocracy process within our P&C meetings, I've found as the president that meetings run a lot smoother, discussions are a lot clearer and more on task, and also walking away from meetings, I feel like everybody's had the opportunity to speak up and voice their opinions.
The P&C have now launched their own project, and the Room 3 students led the project launch. The assembly area is set up so the tables represent the circle structure diagram. Students elected as explainers read out the circle aims.
The aim is to produce a site plan and stage construction schedule.
The students encourage their parents to be a part of the project. The ripples continue. Stacey, a young mother new to the school, would like to see ripples in the broader community vision.
We continue with sociocracy being taught to students so that it can impact our world in the future, and hopefully we can have the students teach our community members how to grow together. And
Sociocracy had been focused on the children. A year after the Harvest Bounty restaurant, the staff received some training.
What we're doing here is we are bringing together the power of structural thinking and strong structures, and also the softness and the wisdom that comes with good process.
Eastby, special needs teacher for the senior class, looks back on how they were blind and had to trust the process. What does she see from her new understanding?
That it is doable. This sociocracy model is just amazing in allowing children, the ones that are actually learning in the school, are actually part of making it happen. A big part of making it happen, and that's pretty special.
110, 111, 112.